Rita, so you guys can start whenever.
Okay, I guess we're gonna start with board minutes.
I make a motion that we approve board minutes for August 16, 2022.
I second it. Any public comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we're in correspondence, and we have a letter from Gianforte. Electronic filing for contractor gross receipt tax. Stamp or something. Anyway, there's gonna be a webinar on that. On the 15th to September. Is there two?
That's the second page.
The second page of it.
Okay.
Next one is a letter from an attorney. And they mistakenly named me as chairperson. And the firm represent Ashley Westfall. And I'm getting tired of people putting my name on things that I'm not what it is. So I'm not chairperson, I'm acting right now, but I'm not chairperson, so maybe they can get that straight. Anyway, I read it online.
And this, right, we got an email from Blaine where he emailed them back and said that
Right. Yeah.
they're their own district, and so therefore they can't come back.
Can't come back on us now. Right. Okay, we're gonna open up public comment.
When the flat thing comes up, I have a bigger thing printed. I just didn't want to make a bunch of big things. I wanted to share. that. 'Cause it was like 100 pages. I just didn't want to make a bunch of copies. You want me to answer my phone?
Is that on your phone?
It's on my phone. You want me to answer my phone? Commissioner's office, this is Billy, how can I help you? Okay. Yes,
Why don't we call this number? Robin Bauer called one time.
Can you call it?
Yeah. I couldn't, on my phone over there.
if you want to get on, let me grab, because they're in session right now, let me just grab your phone number and I will give you a call back and, I will get you on a future agenda.
No, just-
So it would be, August 30th.
Okay, so 406.
So I'll be able to get you on.
Four.
Okay, perfect. Did you talk to our DES coordinator at all?
3.
Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. I will give you a call back here this afternoon, and I can give you a little bit of an update on where things are at and, get you guys. some information.
Yeah.
Please dial a 1 when dialing this number.
Oh, really? That's why.
Okay,
We
perfect.
will
Yeah,
try.
I will touch base with you this afternoon. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have
Uh-oh.
COVID. I don't.
What the hell?
I've been tested and to the doctor. I don't have COVID. I just have like the horrible cold from all of those
I
nasty
don't even know if it's
Jeremy
1206.
I got me
right?
there.
Yeah,
My nephew. Got me.
well, that COVID's going around pretty hard again.
Is it? I swore I had it. I took multiple tests. I felt
What's
so
going
confident.
around?
That damn COVID again.
I took so many tests.
It has been.
Yeah,
You
he's not here.
can sit there.
Yeah, Robin?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Chuck Hinkle of the commissioners.
Yeah.
Have a note you called me?
yeah. I didn't email you too. Did you get my email?
No.
No. Well, yeah, I just wanted to talk about a road out here. And I've been calling Paul Alt. He said they were gonna work on it in August, and then he just called and said it'll be a few more weeks. And I just wanted to make sure it got done because it's bad, dangerous bad.
Okay, we have Paul sitting here right now, so,
Like I just told her,
Okay.
it's gonna be at least a couple more weeks. Because we just can't get our roads to lay down, the ones that there are people that are actually live on by the hundreds. And we'll just we're 3 men short. And it's definitely on the radar, we're gonna get to it, but it's just gotta have to wait its turn. You know, I
that's
want,
the middle for
no, we just
Oh,
wrapped the
It's
middle
with the
fork off.
process work.
Ross's Fork.
Right, on top of Ross's Fork, we're gonna put some material in. Going down the hill and then down the road. Past that, we're gonna fix another bad spot. But also, when it comes breakup and they're hauling logs out of there, truck after truck after truck after truck,
Mhm,
they need to stop. When it's tearing the road all to hell,
mhm.
you know, and they're not, that's not making it any better.
They tear apart the spring or,
Yeah, it went straight to hell this spring and they just got trucking. And, I mean, sometimes that has to come to a stop too. But we're definitely gonna get to it and, we talked about getting some material from her. And, you know, then we'll cap it. But it's gonna be.
okay, so you're running 3 people short?
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, we've got 2 out on surgery, well, just whatever, but,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be there, we're hoping to be there in 2 weeks. Once we start, it's not gonna take that long, and I know it's gotta get done, I mean, that's for sure, but,
Yeah, it's dangerous, it is.
yeah. But
It is, you know.
with that being
yeah.
said, I mean, we're gonna put all the time and money in doing this. And it gets muddy again in the spring. If you guys are hauling logs, you need to stop. Or we'll have to
Well-
stop.
Yeah, if you need to stop them, you can stop them, but somebody asked me, I guess my nephew, you know, we hauled logs out of here before over that hill. When, and I said since about 1970s, late 1970s, hauled logs over that hill. And Katie's are called, and if the road has no base, then yeah, they're gonna go out of sight for sure.
Yeah, and
But they didn't tear the road up all those other years, they never tore the road up. It has a base and then it's got less and less and less, yeah.
I mean, we hauled lots of logs out of there ourselves too. I mean. We hauled,
Can we put up some cones or something to mark it as a hazard or a sign?
no, it's fine now. It's just,
Well, it's dry, that's why it's fine, but it's, I was telling Paul that we had a bulk fuel truck come over here in June, and it had rained. And I was at where he was gonna deliver it at the bottom, and he was just said, I've been on terrible roads, he said, I thought I was gonna go off the road coming off that last corner. Because and I was there myself, and you can't, it just takes you can't even steer your truck. And so he delivered the fuel, went over the other side, we were expecting a truck from Triple S to deliver materials that day. And he saw the truck at Triple S down on the Loose Lake Road, he said, where are you going? And that truck told him where he's going, he said, we're gonna go back, he said, don't go in there, so the Triple S truck turned from my back to it's that bad. And then, Kyle, the guy we probably know is hauling a gooseneck load of cattle over, this spring, that was in June. And he said, he thought he at least steered straight into the hill, because he went off the edge, he didn't want to go the side, but he wanted to go straight on. He said it was just terrible, terrible. That's how bad it is. And
I'll scratch it.
we'll do from the top. Halfway down the bottom, I suppose.
It's the last corner coming down that is so treacherous. I wouldn't, up there near the top where the logging trucks got stuck. Yeah, it's bad, and they broke through, and there was no base to the road, and they broke through, and nobody could get past there. But that wasn't dangerous. This last corner is dangerous, because if it gets mud, you can't steer your truck, and you go over the edge. That's what I'm worried about. If it was just getting muddy and you get stuck and you have to have 4-wheel drive, I can live with that. But
It turns, it's just slime,
it's dangerous. Yeah,
It just
it's
greases
bad,
the
and
slime.
it's not deep there. It's not deep mud there. Nobody, went down a foot in the mud. It's slick, terrible mud with no base, and it's slicker than heck. And I've got a 4-wheel drive 1-ton truck, and I went way over into our gravel pit to miss that. Because you can't steer, you just can't steer, you just have to hope that you quit sliding before you go over the edge.
Well,
So that's what I'm concerned about.
okay. I guess I'll be there in a couple of weeks and take care of it.
Yeah.
And the other place that I wanted to look at, Paul, was that place where the water comes across the road. And that's the other place that's dangerous, because if you stand back and you look at the road, it tilts to the outside. And I've cleaned the ditch and I've lined the ditch. And we turned the ditch off the 1st of September, and this has been November, and the water comes through there, so it's gonna get spring. And it makes solid ice slick that's tilted towards the outside of the road. And our cattle truck was coming out of there, and he said he was started sliding. And there's nothing, there's the kind of a little drop off there. But
We're gonna-
the thing is, if there's a culvert not very far away from there, like, I don't know, 40 feet from there, and if you could blade the barrel pin on the upper side, that water would go into that culvert.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna build that up from there to where, Ken dumped them couple of loads. And take the valley out of that road.
Yeah, well,
We're gonna address it.
I don't know about that now. And there again, the potholes are huge. I'm not complaining about that. We have to live with potholes, we do. But that is dangerous, because if you're driving a 4-wheel drive, it doesn't matter. It's just like a skating rink, and it's going tilted towards the outside of the road, and there's nothing you can do.
Okay, well, we have to move on, thanks, and we'll get Paul on it.
Okay.
And,
Okay,
thanks.
all right. Thanks for calling back.
What else is there?
I was 10 minutes of my meeting this morning. Not much, I guess I'm on, huh? So we got down to the middle court yesterday. We got that wrapped up. And then up in Douglas Creek there, where vendors live, up out of Jim's. They're starting to haul logs out there this week, so we did some magging up there in front of vendors, and then on that Wild Horse Canyon road where it wraps around, where we turn around with the snow plows and stuff. We magged that area yesterday just because they're gonna bring about 80 or 100 loads out there, and
Who's doing that?
Sun Mountain. And other than that, we're on doing black pine right now. We started on that this morning. And we're working with Chuck. He's up there with the Forest Service blade. So we're gonna get that up to the top cattle guard. And then we'll water for him. He's gonna go in toward where the old lookout is. So we'll run water trucks and give him some water through that stretch. And trade off for him helping us with their blade, take care of the road.
So you're gonna water all the way up to the lookout?
No, we're watering now, we're running one blade and then Chuck's running the Forest Service blade up there now. And then in trade for him helping us blade that, we'll water for him going to the lookout that 1.5 miles or whatever.
Chuck,
Well, he runs the blade.
Chuck who?
Chuck Reynolds works for the Forest Service.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what we're doing right now. And next week we'll have Nikki will be back. It is what it is. Everybody's on the same force. Everybody's working together. We're not split up at all because we don't have the men. And
On the same porch.
on the same porch. We're gotta get back to our passion. The weather's gonna get away from us. And we got a bunch of more of that to do. We got some at Georgetown, we have some at quite a bit at Rock Creek. Some at Maxville, just some everywhere, but. And then I don't know what your guys' thought are on those speed bumps up there at the lake. We don't want any speed bumps.
No, I don't.
All they do is rip our equipment. You try to plow and then there's a godforsaken, we just don't want anything.
So one question on the speed bumps, don't they have temporary ones?
Yeah, they were talking about temporary ones or something you can bolt down or whatever.
I guess you can go buy them and.
But still, especially, I was talking about that blind corner now. I can just see me when I was a kid on horses.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of those things about blind. I'd be down the road on the side.
Yeah, I'm just 100 against it. You hit one of them, and that's a very good example. You hit them on a motorcycle, and then you shit yourself underneath the car.
Mhm.
or,
No, so I'm with you.
good. I just-
Okay.
And then, I don't know, they've been trying to get a hold of everybody for that,
That's right.
want a meeting, over the
Oh, yeah.
road up here when they shut the lake down to pass.
Mhm.
And
And I visited with him a little bit the other day. And our main concerns are just simply like when we had that meeting, we just want to make sure they have road closed signs
Mhm.
on both ends of I-90. And we don't want any detours going through these subdivisions. People are gonna find their own way anyway,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much our only concern that I know of. Unless you guys think of something else.
You checked out the other road.
It's not for the faint of heart. I mean.
Yeah, no big trucks can go down.
No, you're not gonna bring a motor home through there, and if we try to detour through there,
Yeah,
it'll be all our fault, our liability.
right.
If they find their own way through there, which some of them are going to,
Mhm.
so be it. But at least we don't have any skin in that game, But he was, they were wanting to come and have another meeting here. And I don't know, they'll get a hold of you guys, but
yeah, they went back and forth. I think they're gonna do their public meetings on September 1st
on Zoom.
on Zoom. And if a commissioner would like to go today with Paul to the 11 o'clock. They would like it if a
I
commissioner.
can't
could go.
understand you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's hard.
They're having
What you do?
a meeting today at 11 o'clock at the jail.
Mhm.
If anybody wants to go to it. And that's what it is, it's about that road,
Oh,
when they close that road. And,
at the jail?
yeah, they're doing it for first responders,
Oh, I see.
and anybody that wants to, has a concern. And also, in September, they're doing another one on Zoom. But it's pretty much everything that we've talked about it all in here already, so.
What's the timeline now?
Toward the end of September, have it done by winter is their goal. They don't really have a exact time when they're gonna shut the road down. They don't, you can't really know that.
Right. But they do figure it's only gonna be for like a week, correct?
Of shutdown,
I've shut down.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Is
not,
it gonna be open at night?
not when it's shut down, I don't think so. Because of the widow makers hanging up there, they don't know when they're gonna slide.
Okay, if we're done with that, I guess we'll open it up to the Russ Per's request for a road maintenance agreement with county discussion and decision. And see him on, he's not here, Forest Service is here, you guys want to come up?
I go again.
So what's the situation?
On the Forest Service road, we're gonna deny his request to remove snow. And when it was plowed in 2020, it caused resource damage. It's, I don't know if you guys know where it's located, but it's up above Black Pine subdivision on an open ballpark. So it flows in heavy and drifts, and so they ended up plowing it wider and wider and wider, and caused quite a bit of road damage. So we're gonna deny it for that, but when we did some research, we ended up finding out, I wish Blaine was here because he could probably speak to it much more educated than I can, but we found that there is access through Black Pine Meadows subdivision for him to travel, which is plowed by the subdivision. So we encourage him to exercise his rights to use the subdivision.
It's written into their covenants or something,
Yeah, there's mutual easements between there's actually two subdivisions up there, but there's a mutual easement where they can share use.
No, anybody can use that road, right? That's up
For
to
sure.
you.
Now, I don't know if it's public, no, that's why I would Blaine was here, because he could shed some light. He's done a lot of research. But everybody who lives up there definitely has access for that.
Yeah, I just had that same question. Gary Johnson was asking me about that. Why he can't go through that second subdivision? Apparently he can.
Cause
And
he's
this-
part of the. oh,
And,
sorry.
and Russ wants to come out that ridge.
Mhm.
You can see the one that's on that ridge out at the point of the
Right on
ridge.
the point, you know.
Yeah, I can see that drifting then. Pretty good. So, what do you think?
Out to you and your expertise, I'm not, I don't know. I honestly am confused. Did we give him permission to plow last year?
Mhm.
Yeah, contingent on. If he could plow the Forest Service, if he can't plow them, it doesn't do him any good to plow the county.
So what if he wants to use a snowmobile to come out to the county?
I guess it'd be an alternate route, but. I mean, if he can get all the way through that subdivision, why would he want to?
No idea.
It doesn't make any sense.
How far does the county follow the Black Central
We don't,
at all?
well, we
Well,
plow
we
it
got a cap.
to the end of the pavement, yeah,
Right.
right.
Just.
We cross the cattle guard and turn around at that landing, that's what the cattle guard,
Okay,
and that's what he did. But
I mean, that's an option that you guys could still authorize. This is your decision on what you do on the county road. But, so I guess what we're doing on the Forest Service is not letting him do. Has no bearing on what your guys' decision is. But
My only concern with that, if we say we did want to do the snowmobile thing, we'd have the same situation, have a red line. And we'd have to have something, I didn't read anything in this agreement here that would limit him or anybody from putting all kinds of parking cars and all kinds of vehicles on the county road
Right.
or on Forest Service land. You know, there's nothing to prevent that.
I did, just to complicate things a little bit more too, I did meet with the landowner who bought Vitor's old property up there. If you continue up that meadow that's down in the bottom below the mine.
Hmm.
He's from Las Vegas, Kirby Lucho. He's built a house up there now. And I don't think this winter, but next year he plans on moving up there full time. And he's gonna be set up, he said, for winter travel. So. I mean, that's next winter, so obviously you guys will have to have a discussion with Mr. Guccio too, but. It's starting to happen,
Yeah,
more and more folks that move in.
so which meadow?
If you just continue up Black Pine, there's that big meadow down below the mine that.
In
the
Smart
Butte
Creek?
used to own.
No.
Yeah, it's a very head into Smart Creek.
Oh, okay.
Yep, right below Henderson Mountain and Black Pine Mine.
Can you build a house? down
He's got a
there?
house that's done. And he's been living there all summer, but he's gonna go home this fall to Vegas. But next year, his plan is to move up there full time.
And he doesn't want the road plowed?
He's gonna be set up for winter travel, sounds like. So,
he's gonna want to.
Yeah, I'll see how long that was.
Yeah,
no, he's gonna be like snowmobiles or track.
all the way out.
It's like, right.
Yeah, but then you got the problem, you got to park out there and battle with.
It's tough moving in this backcountry is not easy.
I know last year we had that deal with Cross that he could plow, but it had to be plowed 2 lanes wide, had to have turnouts. Any erosion problems that we had to go fix, he had to pay for it. That was all supposed to be in that agreement.
And this is Russ you're talking. about?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
I don't see where it says two lanes.
yeah, it has to be, it's supposed to have said a 2-lane road. So when people drive up there, oh, it's plowed, and then they meet them on the one, then there you are.
Forest Service spec is you gotta plow the entire road surface, including permits. To get the snow off of the road,
And that's what.
and there's punch holes in the berms if it's now sloped road.
Because they plowed it, that's what started all this, they plowed it, just, that's terrible.
Well, I'm gonna recommend we put this off and think about it for a week. Gaylord.
Well, how come he isn't here?
Yeah, he's not here, and like I say, I got the garbage issue, and I don't see where it says 2 lanes you can follow.
You got it, it needs to say 2-lane puck with turnouts.
There's something about turning.
But if you have not, if you have, if it already has a plowed access road. Why not just use that? And don't do this.
So then this is the county road. And it's one that Granite County doesn't plow,
Right,
and so his agreement is he wants to plow it.
but if you can't plow, he has to plow Forest Service Road to get to this
Oh,
road,
okay,
and they're not allowing that.
so there you are, rock in a hard spot, would you say?
Well, like you said, like Cam said, I mean, it could be, if he wanted to plow from the other way and use overland, snowmobiles or something from the county road in. That. The potential.
So you're denying him going on the county road or Forest Service Road
Like
to
you
the
can't
county
plow to the
road
county road.
Yeah.
Force.
to get to the
So-
county road.
So what I said, well, maybe you want a snowmobile over there and then park all his rigs along the county road. And then plow. Let's table it
Okay,
till next week.
Okay.
And
yeah, he's not here, eh?
he's not here.
Well, the question for him is why doesn't he use the plowed road?
Right.
And
Maybe,
clarify that it's.
maybe they all have to pay for that. so. Somebody
It's
got
cheaper than buying fuel to plow that road.
He would still have to plow some through his property to get to the subdivision road. but-
Pretty much.
Is there a road that connects?
Huh?
Is there a road that connects his house to that?
Yes, yep,
How far would you have to plow?
I don't know. It's on his private.
Well, that's where I'm at, like, it doesn't have the full road width, and it doesn't have anything to do with parking, and. We could have a problem with garbage like we had a problem with red line.
So why did we do this last year?
You let him plow last year.
We let him,
You
we,
did let him plow.
he didn't have, no, he did not have a permit, originally, the plowing was. One of their contractors applied for the permit for building. And so it was sort of like a temporary thing, then we said we'd have to talk in the long term, but temporary to get some building stuff done. And it wasn't, they were the ones that applied for the permit, it was their contractor. And then never finished the job, and then they plowed anyway, somebody plowed anyway. It wasn't whoever had applied for the permit, so I know.
I got you.
So yeah, last year we denied it.
Okay, we're gonna move on, so. You agree to.
Yes.
Table it.
Yes,
All right,
Thanks.
And we do have
see ya.
Brad Lehrman and Pat Sapp.
Oh, public, public comment.
Brad Lehrman and Pat Sappel are on from Fish, Wildlife and Parks for the next item. So I'll make them co-hosts so they can kind of openly discuss with you if you'd like.
Okay, now we're on Brandon Ferris, dam tender report, Georgetown Lake outflow review and decision. Mr. Stokey, you wanna come up?
Just because I can't hear, I'm not gonna contribute. I don't have any big facts to grind today.
Oh. So, is Brad on?
Brad Lehrman is on and Pat Sappel are on, and I made
Yeah.
them co-hosts so they can mute and unmute and discuss with you as necessary.
Okay, well, I guess I'll start out and see what everybody thinks. I'm gonna, move to go back down to 30 CFS. Where we were, and then pay back that 20 CFS in the middle of September. What we borrowed.
Which still has to be calculated. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, I don't know how we can calculate, it. And, reading on the emails, they don't even know exactly how much is going out on the meter. I mean, how are we supposed to do this?
Kind of, one of the things I got on the email was, there's some question about the accuracy of the gauge. The first thing that I would recommend is solve that issue. If you have to see if USGS can, because that's important to your operation. Be sure that's accurate. So I would request right off the bat, see if they'll come over in an expeditious manner. Okay,
Right.
so then if that's good, I'd have Todd calculate what went out, repay that.
Middle of September. Yeah.
Okay, we said that we were going to give them extra water until
For 2 weeks. We give them
tomorrow, right? Is it over tomorrow,
Today,
24th?
we got the 24th. On the 24th, outflows return to 30 CFR.
Okay, so we'll get our agreement, we'll have met our agreement tomorrow.
Yeah.
On giving them the extra water.
We did go down for this week down to 40. We shut off the gate valve.
Yeah. We did that last week, right?
Right.
Took off the extra spot.
So, yeah, so it is kind of hard to calculate how much.
It's above my good pay grade, but I know he can do it.
But we don't, they're having a problem with gauge through the powerhouse.
So if you solve the USGS gauge, then you eliminate that as being good or bad, but you know it'll be good, then they can play with theirs.
Yeah, and just so you folks know, oops, sorry, I got muted there. I did email USGS and ask them to explain why it's off, or you know, or to see if they have any issues with. I know they calibrated the gauge a couple months ago, but I did email them. I haven't heard back yet, so hopefully I'll hear back here soon.
That was Brad, by the way.
And I know the rest.
So Billy, could we get a hold of them too? And see if they can get that done?
Yeah.
So my motion is to cut it back to 30 CFS. Any comment on that? Public comment? Brad?
I mean, that seems reasonable to me. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, do you guys, oh, sorry, this is Pat Saffel, Fish, Wildlife and Parks. On this motion, do you want to discuss the payback time period and figuring out the amount, or you just want to deal with the reduction in flows for now?
Yeah, we just did that. We're gonna try to calculate how much was let out, which I might doubt we can do it. And then it'll be the middle of September to pay back.
Okay, so we'll get an actual proposal for the payback amount maybe next week.
Your mic is right there.
We'll try.
Okay,
That speaker.
thank you.
Well, I'll second it.
Any other public comment? All in favor, say aye.
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 Bye.
Aye.
Okay, I guess that wraps that up.
So back to 30. Who gets notified on that?
Bob's going.
Okay.
Oh, somebody's raising their hand.
I think they were waving goodbye.
Yeah, I was waving by.
Bye.
I'm sticking around for the road thing at Georgetown. What time's that on your agenda? Because I couldn't pull my internet.
10:30.
So I got an hour. All right. Well, I can go shop.
Oh,
At 10 is Georgetown Lake Road.
Scoping report. Is that what you're sticking around for?
Yeah, there was some issues about reducing speed limits and on the county road and the Forest Service.
Okay, at 10:30 is Lake Shore Drive speeding issues, speed bump and signage. Okay. So which one do you want? Probably 10. Or you want?
Are you gonna talk about the county road on the south shore at 10? That would be.
That's
Latimer Babbage
that's a
called
flat
me.
thing, funding and reconstruction of the road.
On which section? On that
Lake
same,
Shore Drive,
Lake Shore Drive.
on that same spot on the other side?
on the gravel road, Lake Shore Drive.
Okay, and I'm more interested in my side. Can we discuss that at the same time? Because I think that was brought up last time about reducing the speed limit in that stretch on that blind curve.
Well, I think that'd be more.
That's
10,
10:30.
10:30.
That's 10:30.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get a slot there.
I guess.
Okay. Good. Thank you. I'll see you then.
See ya.
Center Road is.
Oh, nice.
Okay, now it's time for Vicky Harding's monthly cash report.
Plus the school's budget.
I already gave them that.
Oh. Aren't you, oh, the ones that I sent you? Oh. Okay, so, and you have one, Julianne? So then that one is yours.
This is the tech register. This is Steve.
Oops, sorry. Step, and, so then we just need to go over the cash report, I guess. Which you guys had a copy of that, Billy Ann said. So balance on, bank balance was 922,527, CDs 529,775. STIP protested 373,16. Memorial was 37,944. Airport was 68,327. So STIP, we had 9,459,502. Treasury bills was 169,803. Petty cash was 725. So on the Buck Mountain side was 11,211,036. So we were off $865. And schools, did they already get a copy of the schools then? Awesome. So all I need then on the school is a signature. Which would be the consolidated. Who needs the acting? Okay. So this is the consolidated. I need a signature there for this is the schools, and then each one has a budget report that has to be signed by the chairperson, acting chairperson, whatever. So we have Pillsbury. What?
Just laughed at him.
Oh,
I do that a lot
yeah, okay.
with him.
Not at, not at it. Okay, so then we have Hall.
This is the 23rd.
Is it?
23rd.
Is it to
It
20?
is.
Oh, I was gonna say, this is Hall. And we have Drummond Elementary. And this is Drummond High School. Are you feeling any better?
I went to the doctor yesterday, they gave me a nebulizer and steroids.
Oh. Ooh.
But yeah, I do feel better, but
Thank you. Oh, I'm glad, golly. Well, she had pneumonia. Okay, well, we're done.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I forgot to mention, the lake level was 12 points.
I went at it. It's 12.6 inches below Hopeful.
Yep.
Look at this again.
This. Lower left of this is there's use. It's more, it was strictly for time, so there's things that's still very, that's over. You got it, I'm hard. It's stored. It's like a man. For example, whatever. Swam that river, free, you know. So I was thinking all part of it. We could get a water. Actually, That was one thing I was really disappointed. Every year.
Okay, this next one to Curtis Jorgensen is coming on Zoom. Curtis Jorgensen is gonna be on Zoom with this.
Should you, Brandon, and Terrence, phone number? That's what I call Brandon. There goes like apps on it too. Everybody's looking at things like, I'm gonna sit down for.
Brandon 5335488.
That's it.
Tell me ballot for you. Why don't you tease that in? You should be on business.
Fall time. I don't have fall time under number here. I did the same thing with Curtis that I did with Brad and. I did the same thing with Curtis that I did with Brad and Pat, where I just made him a co-host so he can jump in and share screen if he needs to or whatever. Yeah.
So the guy that tried this.
You do the 406? Did you do the 1406?
I get 146.
There it goes.
There it is. Just really slow.
This is Paul, please leave a message, thanks.
Yeah, Paul,
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
I'll text him.
text me.
Yeah. Curtis Jorgensen.
He's right here.
Hello, this is Curtis.
He's the Federal Highway Administration Project Coordinator.
And slide. There.
Okay, I closed enough to 10. We're gonna open up with Georgetown Lake Road scoping report, last match, and funding discussion and decision. Anybody that wants to talk, come on up.
Hello again.
Hello.
So you're gonna start off.
Sure is.
Curtis is on, yeah.
All right. So I get my years mixed up with this project because it's been going on a long, long time. But the Forest Service and the county jointly put in a flap grant to get some money to repair Lakeshore Drive. And the grant was for $1.2 million. We had to come up with a certain percentage of match, and I don't remember what that percentage is, Curtis could tell us, but it's about $182,000. The Forest Service kicked in $90,000, and it's already in, at that point, it's locked in to an agreement with Federal Highways. The county at the time, I think you guys have a document here, the Federal Highways agreement. The county basically did an IOU or a promise of $50,000, which got us fairly close. But it wasn't the whole, it was $140,000, so we're still shy a little bit of money to meet the match. Well, just recently, and this is where I should probably hand it off to Curtis, so Curtis, jump in at any moment. Some policy
Okay.
has changed to where we may not have to have the match. So we could reapply. And Curtis, why don't you just brief us on that a little bit, I guess?
Okay, this is Curtis Jorgensen. I'm the project manager for the Georgetown Lake Road project. Just to give you some background, and I believe was that Cameron who was
Yes, sir.
presenting? Oh, okay. Yes, just trying to put voices to names. So yes, in the past, since the start of this year and the passing of the recent transportation bill, it was written into the bill that projects moving forward that are applied for and approved in 2022 do not need any match and will be fully funded by the FLAP program itself. And as for this project itself, we were kind of stalled, as Cameron mentioned, because of the match dollar amounts were short, and we couldn't really move forward with any type of even development or engineering without expending through the project funding and the match funding, and getting to a point where, as the scoping report shows, we're going to be needing additional funding, additional match funding from either the county or the Forest Service. So we made a decision not to do anything after this scoping report was done because of that, and didn't want to expend any additional funding just because of doing the engineering work up front, and then basically evaporating pretty much all the existing match funding and coming to another stopping point where there's no money to pursue the construction of the project. But with the new transportation bill, I think there's a great opportunity for both the county and the Forest Service to reapply for flat funding and matching the estimates in the scoping report. I think we have two options. I would recommend pursuing option 3. That's basically fulfills the intent of the original FLAP application of doing the full complete 3 miles of Georgetown Lake Road. Option 2 is basically cutting that project in half and only doing the road construction up until Corners Point, or Formers Point.
So Curtis, my question is, if we reapply for this grant, what's the proposed timeline? Like, is it going to set us back years?
I would say it's probably going to set you back a few years, because it'll still have to go through approval with the project decision committee with the FLAP program. But because this project is a known quantity with the PDC, if you could get your application in to them, I think that their approval process should go quicker. They would just need to figure out where that funding lies in the program. I know, and I have Talina Adams is our programmer for the Montana for Montana FLAP, and she could chime in on this, but we're looking to probably go to open up for new FLAP applications. I believe beginning of next year of 23. Like I said, if I would assume if you could work with Talina and the PDC to get your application in at that time, or possibly even earlier, it may go through their processing a little bit quicker, and then we could start on the development and engineering sooner.
Hey, hi, this is Talina. I was having trouble chatting and unmuting, so sorry if you guys were talking to me earlier and I couldn't say anything. But yeah, then we're planning the next call for projects to be open for applications in like December, January timeframe. So and I'm new here, so it'll take, I got to learn the process and everything, but that's the goal, is to have it out there. So then and what I'm hearing is it takes about 6 months or so to get through all the applications and get them awarded and approved. So and the good news about the next call for projects is there's no match requirement. So if you have a project that can compete well and get in there won't be any match when once it's awarded.
So what assurity can you give us that, I mean, it's awarded right now, we have it, but is there a chance that we might not get it? We reapply?
Yeah, definitely that is a risk. Because it's gonna have to compete with whatever other applications come in. Like one thing we've done, there's one project that has similar issues. And what we've done with that one is change it to a design only project. And so we kept the funds that we had already gotten awarded and the match that we already approved in that project. And we're moving forward with it as a design only project. And then they're going to compete for construction funds. So that's a possibility too. We had to remove the construction funds for them to compete for the next call and get construction dollars as no match. So that is one strategy we've done with another project that was going to cost a lot more, and the delivery method had changed. So and with that one, we think it'll compete well. We anticipate it'll compete well because it's going to be more like a shovel ready project. We'll have a full design, and that will inform the construction dollars. But again, the county will still have to reapply, and there's a risk that, they wouldn't compete well. It's just not likely that it wouldn't compete well as a shovel ready project.
Okay, and then I have one more question as far as the forest is concerned. Our 90,000, again, we've already obligated that money. So what happens to that 90? I would just assume it sticks with the project. I don't want it back because I feel like it's going to go to the treasury if we get it back. But what happens with those dollars?
Anything unspent would be returned if, we close out the project and we look at how much was spent, and we apply the appropriate match, and then everything else gets returned back to the program and back to, if you've committed match that's not spent, that comes back to you.
So have you spent some of the match already?
That I'm not sure if I gotta dig into that one. We always look at when there's money obligated, we look at what's been expended on the project. I assume there's been some work done, but not very much, so.
Yeah. And yeah, I would say there's probably not much expended, but also if the Forest Service is willing to provide funding, even with the no match obligation, they can provide funding as It'd be just sort of an award to go with the project itself. So if you have funding, so say for instance, in 90,000, we still carry it, we could still carry it over into a new application. And so any type of additional funding like from the county would be paid in full.
Okay, Curtis, so just to be clear, the $90,000 you guys already have, so can that just roll into this new proposal?
I would ask Talina on that, and that might be something we need to research into.
So I guess what I'm gonna say is it's a little complicated. So if like for this, I'm gonna just use the other project that we were talking about as an example. What they wanted to do was just add new flap money to the project, and that new flap money doesn't have match. And we weren't able to do that without going back to all of the other projects that had the match requirements and adjusting all of those. So that's why we dropped the construction dollars and just stuck with their current award and did a design only. And then like construction is gone from the project now and you have to kind of recompete. So I think what we would do is if you guys wanted to keep the current project, but like do like they did and do design only, we would just kind of have two separate projects, right? A design only project and then later a construction project that brings in the construction dollars. So kind of keep them separate.
And the only warning with the design only project is there may be some restrictions on how far we could take the design.
Yeah.
Mostly it would be for environmental compliance and any type of utility or right of way negotiations. We would have to stop prior to completing those.
Okay,
So, in a nutshell, if we reapply, we can say 50,000, right?
And is that the only thing that's in the 50,000? Right now, okay, we've been accepted, correct? And it's the 50,000 or is it more?
So the need to move forward with the full cost of the project would probably be somewhere close to, I'm going by the scoping report estimates. It would be somewhere close to 400,000. That's total match needed.
400,000?
so the price has gone up significantly, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So the effort for,
Okay, wait. I need. Right now, we've been approved, right?
We've been approved for $1.2 million, but when they did their preliminary engineering design, it sounds like their preferred alternative is gonna cost way more than the 1.2 that we applied for.
So our match in the beginning was 50 from the county and 90 from the Forest Service
It was 180,000 total,
total.
right? And that was all we could drum up at the time was 140,000,
Okay. So now it's 400,000.
right? So the project's like $2.5 million project now.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We're gonna reapply.
Reapply.
Reapplied, but I just don't want to lose the 90,000 that we already. Think we like the agreement, the Federal Highways has a bank account, we gave them 90,000 to work on this project.
Didn't we, the county, didn't they, we promised the 50,000?
You just promised it, you never gave it, you guys were smarter. No, we had to obligate because it was grant monies and some other money, so we had to do something with it, otherwise we would have lost it. So that's why we initiated. the
Now,
agreement with
50
Federal.
wasn't rack money, right?
No, that 50 is
It was
just your
just
guys,
right from
your
us.
own county.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pill.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't-
I agree, Chuck. I don't think we have an option, and I'll just work with Federal Highways and see what we could do to preserve that 90,000 the best we can.
Okay, so Curtis, you said that in one statement that the 90 can carry over. But that was not concerning the new application, is that?
I am not 100% sure on that. I think that's more in Talina and our programming side of things. I know we have the money from the forest, but I don't know how if we could transfer accounting to a new application or not.
Yeah, I think like to keep them distinct, what we would do is close down this project and then and I think we would coordinate with the Forest Service and say, hey, you know, well, yeah, that gets a little complicated. I mean, when we close it out, it's usually like we figure out how much we've spent so far and we take it as far as you know, we commit to taking it after all the decisions are made, and then whatever's left goes back, right? If there's money left over, it'll go back to the agency that contributed. So, and then when you reapply, there's no match requirements if you're awarded, and so we wouldn't have to worry about keeping or getting money, rolling money to the new project.
Again, my fear is though, when it comes back to the Forest Service, it goes to Washington DC and it doesn't stay in this county.
Yeah, it goes back to whatever they want to reprioritize it on.
Right.
So is there a motion to reapply for the plat
I'll make a
in
motion
December?
in December. I'll make a motion that we reapply for flat. What is it, scoping report or?
For the whole project.
It's a call for projects.
Okay,
In December?
So for the application, I would recommend just taking the scoping report itself and then using the cost estimate for option 3 as your basis for the cost of the project. And you could use any of the content in the scoping report or even attach the scoping report to your application. Would give you at least an understanding of what the county wants to pursue to make it easier. And I don't know if Talina has the application forms or anything like that available. I don't know if it's been modified yet.
Yeah, not yet, but I'm going to be working on those this fall, and because there will be some updates, but I don't have them yet. I have the old one I could show you if you want.
who fills out this application? The county or the? Forest
Yeah.
Service?
We did. a
Yeah,
lot
you
of-
guys do.
Oh, the county? Okay.
Okay, I'll second her.
Okay,
Is there any public comment?
Hey Curtis, will you please share my email with Talina?
Which one is that?
Cameron.razor@usda.gov.
Yes, I'll share your contact information and all the other contact information I have for the county with Talina.
Okay, thank you.
Last call for public comment. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Well, I guess we're done.
reply.
Yeah,
Yes, we kind of facilitated filling it out last time. And we will help you again this time, but it has to come from you guys. We can't submit it. So.
got that.
So just hope you get your $90,000 back.
Well, I hope. I mean, it's not the end of the world if it goes back to DC, but it's nice to keep as much money in the county as possible.
Good try.
So.
Okay, I guess we're off until 10:30.
We're, you know, we
You want me to go off?
We'll vote to close. Question and decision. Who wants to lead off?
Well, I can start, I guess. We're on the other side of the ledge. I spoke with you guys last week at Latimer Babbitt's 255 Georgetown Lake Road. I did look this morning again. There's within 1/10 of a mile, there's 25 new docks that have that have changed, so.
25 new what?
25 new docks put in, Chuck.
Hmm.
Right there, it's Georgetown Village has 15 of them. And then starting at probably Mr. Stokey's place, just past, Urbino to Hood and Godbout's places, they're right at 25 docks within that 10th of a mile. And a lot of them are new. There's a lot of new houses going in, but we kind of looked at your guys' county line that starts about Denton's, just past like Edwards track. There's even additional stuff, in that spot, but Chuck, I know did some checking this morning as far as how fast, whether 15 or 25, what the difference is, he can expand on that, but we've got all the neighbors pretty well, and if you need additional signatures, kind of like Christine and Blake brought up last week, I think everybody's pretty well on board. Like I said, I'll volunteer my side if somebody wants to, just courtesy patrol or whatever, just to try to get them to slow down until you get signs in or whatever.
So, yeah, I just recently got into this, but I've been thinking that this needs to be done for several years. There's so many people, the cabins are above the road, the docks are below the road, fishing access is below the road. And a lot of people fly through there, and our corner, where Glad is, and they hit that, and then they start to slow down, and the blind corner, there's a lot of people walking, it's a safety issue. This morning, I drove it from the county line to where the new asphalt stretch takes place past Edwards. And it took at 50 miles an hour, and I drove it at 25. There was a minute and 15 seconds difference in that stretch. So I'm proposing to put a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit on both ends, enforce it for a while. We'll give courtesy calls to the contractors and everybody so that they can pass the word, because that's who's doing a lot of it. They're in a hurry, time's money, I understand that. But pretty simple solution. To prevent an accident. So, questions?
Well, I think Chuck too, also, we were talking about Thursday night when everybody's calling trailers to go to the lake, and probably Sunday, your two other times where everybody's trying to get set up or leave to, reinforce that as well. And then you'd probably a lot safer on over at you guys' side as well.
Well, I'm not opposed to putting signs up, but still the issue, it is a Forest Service road, and should we be putting signs on Forest Service road?
I think ours is county.
Ours is county.
Other side's county, but.
Okay.
Other side, Christine's side is Forest Service, but we're county.
So, I'm not opposed.
No, not at all. But, as far as we were discussing speed bumps, and the road supervisor felt speed bumps weren't going to work at all. And like comments were made. The signage seems to be the best thing that we can possibly do, and then that, whatever that thing is that the sheriff puts out there just that sees their speed, he's having a problem getting it fixed. So that's kind of out of the question.
Yeah, well, if we can
And
get
then-
the signs and, just a little
Well,
bit.
and then we tried to call, and they don't have any available for that one. I can't remember. Yeah, well, yeah, so
Just as a point of conversation. I live in a community in Mexico 2 to 3 months of the year, and they have speed bumps. And none of us like them, but they're effective. And they put some of them in on the highway. And those will take an axle off a car. So that's not my first choice. However, if this continues to be a problem, we can put gentle ones in. So they're not an issue for the plows and everything else. And slow people down that way, but I sure would start there.
they called gentle ones.
Well, there's some that come up like this, and there's some that are just
Oh,
gentle bumps. Yeah, you can make them
so
pretty
gentle.
severe, yeah.
Most of our roads have the gentle one built into it.
Like I said, Cameron, I could drop a tree real easily. It'll be a.
Eric Littleberg, in regard to signs, great, but we do need additional. and I do believe the speed bumps. The only thing we found as being out there is when our sprinklers hit the road. People don't want their vehicles touched with water. That slows them down. So a speed bump will guarantee it, and we found some rubber removable ones, $600 per person with signage. So I think it's very reasonable to be able to do it in the removal. And we'll remove it.
Yeah, but to me, they're a hazard, like on motorcycles and stuff.
Motorcycle never notice.
Hmm?
Motorcycle will never notice. In fact, they'll wheelie off it, which is probably a problem.
Yeah, and then the county liable. Something else.
Christine Hall, 263 Lakeshore Drive. They have no respect. Drivers, all those cars have no respect. They do not respect the signs. They don't respect the kids on the road, the animals on the road, the walkers, the bikers. They just like it. The only thing that's going to work is speed bumps. And literally a speed bump. And it's the only thing that's going to slow that traffic down, unless it is patrolled constantly and enforced. But we've put our own makeshift signs up. Everybody has all the way down. They absolutely no respect for those signs at all. So signage isn't going to work. Those speed bumps that Eric was talking about, they come with signage. So it says 15 miles an hour, speed bump. Anybody that gets hurt, if they can't read the signs, they don't belong driving their car. So I truly believe that signage and speed bumps are the only things that can save our kids on those roads.
Forest Service portion, what do you say?
Well, again, I'll support whatever you guys want to do. My concern would just be, where does it stop? As soon as we start getting complaints at Hall, Drum, and Phillipsburg and other places that are county or Forest Service road, are we gonna end up with hundreds of speed bumps across the county? I don't know, but precedent setting, at least in my business, I have to consider that, because if you allow it in one place, then all of a sudden the next place, and the next place, and the next place, so that's my only concern, but yeah, I'm not downplaying the concern of safety with the kids and dogs and people that recreate up there, because we all know that's quadrupled in the last 15, 20 years up there. But like Chuck said, I'm not sure I would start there either. Start with the minimum you can. I think the key is enforcement, like you said. If no one's getting in trouble, then it doesn't matter. So then you get into how do you control people without enforcement, and that's using the barricades or whatever. So
controlling and enforcing it, getting the signs, can we ask the sheriff, hey, can you control, I wish you were here right now.
Yeah, I mean, we could recommend.
Yeah, recommend that.
They
that-
goes up, they send
Try
people
that.
up there, especially till after Labor Day, and then
The signs, yes.
if
I-
we can do the signs, I don't know that we can. Well, we can try.
we're still
We can
like,
make a motion to put
Yeah.
some signs up. And I don't know if we can legally do that. I wish Blaine was here.
and that was discussed a couple weeks ago. We're not sure a ticket would stick without all the proper studies to get the proper speed limit. And that's between Blaine and the sheriff. It's out of my wheelhouse for sure, but if they can't enforce it, doesn't matter what signs we put up, if the
Yeah.
sheriff can't enforce,
Yeah.
if it's not gonna hold up in court.
Right.
So that
And-
process needs to be followed.
Pat Milligan, 52 Lucky Lane. My wife, myself, and her friend does a lot of walking. There's a lot of people that walk on that road. And my wife almost got hit numerous times. And for the 15-mile-an-hour speed signs, the speed bumps, they gotta be no passing signs too, because if some people, they drive the speed limit. And the other people, and I hate to say it, mostly from out of state, they're in a hurry and they pass, and that's how my wife almost got hit. But whatever you do, speed bumps, signs or whatever, let's be proactive rather than reactive. And God forbid if somebody gets hit or killed.
Christine Hall. Again, these other communities that he's talking about, if they're concerned about their children and their animals, then do it. Do what it takes to save them. Instead of saying, well, we can't do them all. Why can't we do them all? Why can't we slow the people down? Just, they don't have enough brains to do it, so we need to give them what it takes to slow them
Well, I make it.
So do we want signs? Enforced, putting signs up, starting out with signs up to see if that would help, and then not only the 15 mph, but the no passing. Do we want to start out with that? Make a motion
Okay.
and to have it enforced, recommend it be enforced.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can we start with that? And
Yeah.
then if that doesn't seem to work, we'll go to the bumps. Speed bumps. I know they're against speed bumps, but if it's not gonna work, what are we doing? We're gonna have to do it, they're gonna have to deal with it. And I understand the concern of the residents up there. So,
No,
I would like this gentleman to sit on a deck in an afternoon and see what he sees. It'd be easier to say, wow, you need a speed bump here.
yeah,
And again, ma'am, I'm not downplaying your concern at all.
Well,
I
I-
totally understand that. Frank Hall, Lake Shore Drive. I had a guy yesterday. We were at the cabin. Drove by it's like a big Chevy truck with a utility box on the back. He came around the corner so fast, just almost skidding around the corner. My girlfriend and I were across the street. I stopped in the middle of the street and I just go like this to him just to tell him to slow down. He yelled at me to get out of the road and he ripped right by me. The respect level is zero.
yeah,
And it's completely out of control. I mean, they're going so fast that if a cop wanted to make his quota, he'd be there 20 minutes if he had his monthly quota. And it's nonstop. So I know that you're worried about the liability of a speed bump. The liability, where's the liability on these kids? Somebody's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Like soon, someone's gonna get hurt.
And if we did just do speed bumps, it wouldn't come right away.
right.
I mean, we'd have to order those temporary ones and probably wouldn't get.
And on that note too, I looked up speed bumps on Amazon, 22,000 pound. Removable, they come with the big screw that screw them down into the road. They're only a 2-inch speed bump. It would cost, it's like $325 for an 8-foot section, so 2 of them would pretty much cross the road. And it's $650. As residents, I'm sure Messer and the ladies and everybody down the road would gladly not only purchase them, but we'll install them. We'll do the Labor Day, Memorial Day, put them in, remove them. We'd be absolutely happy to take care of that.
So,
So as far as the cost goes, it would be zero to the county if it was just approved that we could do this.
And they also come with signage.
They come with 2 signs, one that's supposed to be presented at the speed bump, and then the other one that's supposed to be X number of feet before it that says speed bumps ahead. Every one of those comes with those 2 signs. Because we would need 2 of them, it would be, signage would be proper on both directions. And again, $650 is nothing for the residents that, you know, if we could get approval for so many of them in a certain amount of area, whatever. Even if it's just in front of all the cabins that really do feel they need one. You know, if they just have the approval to be in charge of putting them in and taking them out, I'm sure we'd be more than happy.
So you're thinking about just starting with the summer and then take them out.
Absolutely. We, you know, nobody's the snow plows can't have them there. That's understandable. So
yeah, I was gonna ask that question, if
Yeah.
that would make our road supervisor happy. If they were during summer months where he wouldn't be plowing them,
Yeah.
because you don't have the problem in the winter time, or do you?
Well,
there's one car every night. Oh, you do?
You do have a problem in the winter time.
There's not as many kids and dogs running around.
Right.
It's a little, it's pretty isolated out there.
It's still lots of
So let's check into it.
It's during ice fishing season.
Okay, let's check into it with Blaine about the speed.
Okay, so this, I guess this would be an under advisement. Right now, we're taking it under advisement. And trust me, we've been looking into this and we will make sure if we can do the signs and the patrol enforced and then the speed bumps.
We'll make a motion to do the signs
Okay.
and the enforcement.
You make,
And let's, okay, I'll make that motion.
okay. I will make a motion that we look into our speed limit signs, including 15 miles per hour and no passing, and get advice with give a recommendation to our sheriff to have it patrolled and enforced.
Discussion on that. Do you have any, well, let me put it this way. We have a homeowners meeting coming up this weekend. That would be a good time to talk about this with people. If you could let me know when you find out when the signs might go in and the other work done, that would be appreciated. And then I could let people know.
When's your meeting?
I think it's Saturday, is it? Yeah. Sunday. So if it can't be done before then, that's fine. We'll still get the word out.
Who do we call?
Yeah, I mean,
That's best we go. Who do we call? Do we call Paul and say, hey, get these signs? And then up to the sheriff
Well,
immediately.
first of all, we're gonna have to call Blaine and make sure we can do it, and then call the sheriff and call Paul to get the signs, yeah, and. There was something before that we just couldn't lower a speed limit, just. Like two of us. No, on another road, I can't remember the details, but I just wanna make sure we can do this, so we'll check with Blaine. And then.
Okay.
and-
So what, but
And call Paul. And have him round up the signs, and we'll try to get him in as soon as possible.
yeah,
So you can.
No guarantees, no guarantees. But we gotta check out Blaine and check
Yeah.
out.
so was there a phone call where we could talk to Blaine where he says he's gonna be unavailable, but we could call him?
Also, I just clarify this specifically for the county road on the north side and then the Forest Service Road, do we have to do something separate, just to ensure that we kind of along
Well,
the line
the-
that they do?
Signage is all managed by federal highways, so it's the same, doesn't matter if it's Forest Service or county or state highway.
What was that? I didn't hear you.
According to our engineers with the Forest Service, he said all like signage like that is, the policy comes from the Federal Highway Commission. And you guys are under it, we're under it, state highways are under it, it's all the same.
That's why I don't know if we can do it.
Right.
So that we have to get permission to be able to put those signs up. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure you need permission, but there's process. Yeah,
Process.
Make it enforceable, there's process that needs
Paperwork.
right. Lots of paper.
Hey Blaine, it's Billy. Can I put you on speaker? The commissioners have a couple questions if you're not busy. All right, hold on. All right, you're on speaker.
Good morning.
Hey Blaine, this is Chuck. We were wondering if we could put signs up and lower the speed limit up there at the lake. On the county and the Forest Service Road, lower it to 15 miles an hour. Is there something we can't do that?
So my understanding from what they said is that the signage has been up there that was just arbitrarily put up as 15. So, yeah, I would encourage that, put it up as 15. But just in those places that it was already set at that, you're looking at other places and since you take a speed study.
Okay. Do we know where those signs were? Was it the whole road or?
Well, in talking with Blaine Messer, I don't know if he's there or not. He thought in their section it was 15, I believe. Are they talking about another portion?
Blaine, we're talking about the Granite County line on the south shore by Denton's up to Edwards, just past Edwards subdivision, that stretch is getting huge traffic anymore. So that piece is county.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would take speed study there.
So we can't just put them up right away?
No, I wouldn't advise that. I'd have to get a engineering firm in there to do a speed study before you reduce it right there.
How about speed bumps?
What about speed bumps?
Yeah, the commission could put them in there with signage. If that, yeah, if that's your, that's the commission's decision.
What do you think?
I'm not sure I understand. Okay, Blaine, so what you're saying is that we'd have to get a road study before we could put a sign up for down to 15, and also a road study before we could put up a speed bump.
No, just a speed study for the for lowering the speed limit on Georgetown Lake Road, where it's not already established at 15. Speed bumps, you wouldn't need to do a speed study. Just need put signage on each side of it. The places where it has already been established at 15, in other locations, that's fine to put. It's more signage needs put up. But as far as Georgetown Lake Road, where it hasn't been reduced already, that would be the place where you need a speed study to reduce the speed limit.
Does the DOT do those speed studies? It's just I'm sure cable against the road.
It's the
You'd
DOT.
have to do an engineering firm.
We send a request to the DOT and then the DOT comes out and does a speed study.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
What's the speed limit now?
25.
25? And they're not even going 25.
No.
Oh,
Well,
So tell them we need a speed study by Labor Day.
I think our last one took about a year.
I would, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though.
Blaine, we're talking if we purchase our own speed bumps and signage and putting them up Memorial Day, taking them down Labor Day, doing it our own, could that be approved?
Wayne, did you hear that?
That was cut out a little bit. Talking about paying for the speed bumps themselves. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
And put them up themselves.
Well, if that's acceptable with the county, but I think you'd want to have the specifications on where they go, what kind of speed bump, what size, and the signage and so forth. I think you'd want to have it overseen by the road crew.
Yeah, I think so too.
okay, to question, Blaine. So you're saying that the homeowners could put their own speed bumps and signs up?
Yeah, as long as that's acceptable at the commission and it was to the specifications required by the county. And I would encourage it to be overseen by the road crew.
Yeah, they'd have to have some say in it, the road.
Yeah.
So that's.
Then how can they can do it and then we can't do it? How
Well,
can
we
they-
can't do it if we decide to do it.
We can do it.
Put speed bumps in, right? That's what we want to do. I'd rather go with a sign, but you can't do the whole road at a time.
I guarantee you, the signs will not be restricted unless they're fully enforced, which may not be able to happen.
Vladimir Babich again,
I do like the thing of speed bumps, but I think if you just let everybody go with their own speed bumps up, I think it's gotta go through you guys, or you're gonna have speed bumps all over the lake. You're not gonna be able to control that. I agree. You know, there's precedent. You know, we would like to go through you all to do that, because all of a sudden everybody's gonna want to put their own speed bump up and that'll just be a nightmare.
Yeah, I would encourage you guys to document in the road use permit, just like you would do if someone was plowing snow or running their own grade around the county road that they wanted to maintain to a higher standard than what the county does.
Okay. Wayne, so. If we make a motion to put the speed bumps up. Just for over Labor Day weekend. Is that something that the temporary ones that the county could do? Is that how we'd word our motion?
Yes, and I would, in the motion, I would put the exact locations for the speed bumps and put in, there'd be signage on each side of them. And yeah, I would just be specific in your motion.
And so this motion, we would want just temporary speed bumps. And that we'd want the road crew to put them up.
How they do that.
Is that what we do in the motion?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, and then in the motion, I'd state where you want it, specifically where you want them at, or specific as you can.
Well, we can't make that motion now because we don't know.
We don't know where we want them.
Well, I guess that, so subject, the motion could be made subject to that being, set by the commission prior to it being put in.
Yeah, we get speed bumps and then somebody come to us with a map, but you can't get it done by later. Come to us with a map, and say we want one here, 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 and here. And then we'd approve that, that's what he's saying. Yeah,
That's,
I can go
yeah,
along with
I
that.
think, yeah, you have to. Basically, you gotta know where they're specific, where they're going in, and you're approving it.
But
Yeah.
that won't get done by Labor Day.
You've got people on comments here.
I think that sounds absolutely great, and I think there will be it's pretty obvious, very specific areas. Even out by Eccleston there, because all those houses up Eccleston Road, all those dots right there, the traffic of people. I like my four-wheeler up and down that road all the time. You can see the congested areas of people. And it would be, I think, absolutely phenomenal to have speed bumps at those areas, just to slow the traffic down. And the big, long, open stretches where there's not as much, of course, they don't use speed bumps there. And
So how many do you think?
Probably 3 areas.
three areas probably.
3 areas, so like,
Three, maybe 4 if you take Homer's Point even, because that's a high traffic.
on each side, so like 6.
Slow it down before that corner, Homer's, Eccleston's, our stretch between the ladies and Nancy
Right.
Taylor's. That area is very congested with cabins and crossing the road.
So you're looking at, you'd want them up by when? The 1st of September?
Well,
I think next year, yeah.
I think what I propose to you guys is maybe 2 weeks before Memorial Day, 2 weeks after Labor Day, and that way you got them up before the. Before the traffic starts for Memorial Day, and then you take them down after Labor Day, and that's, after the snow. After the snow and before the snow hits again, and that way you got a little bit of a window there. To cover you as well, and I think somebody mentioned it last week. If the county is limited on funds, I think the different homeowners associations up there, if need be, I think most people would be willing to help defer some of that cost.
So you're talking in the future.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get it done by.
I don't think you're gonna get it done by Labor Day.
Right,
I think just
Yeah.
just an enforcement issue, maybe.
Yeah,
I think we've probably got a pretty good percentage of the Granite County tax base now in the whole Georgetown Lake area, I would think.
so let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's shoot for next year for Memorial Day
Yes.
for all this stuff.
Yes,
And then
yes.
And then
So do we,
recommend that the sheriff goes up there
yeah,
until after Labor Day.
can we do that now, Blaine, where we can have maybe the sheriff control it better? Keep them at least at the 25? You there?
So, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question, but,
Oh,
then have the sheriff enforcing the reduced speed, did you do a speed study, or I didn't understand the question?
no, okay, sorry. So the speed limit now is 25 and they're going 50. Can we recommend the sheriff do better patrols now through Labor Day weekend and then go into, a suggestion has been made that we would start the speed bumps. And we couldn't do it this year because we don't have time, but we'd start the speed bumps Memorial Day through Labor Day weekend.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think what the sheriff is gonna say is that he's gonna need, some more shifts potentially. But, yeah, like the commission could work with him on that issue. On some shifts, but I'm not sure what that's gonna get to as far as extent. But, yeah, probably sit down with the sheriff and see what needs to happen.
Okay, so like now, because we don't have anything in place, this would be something that we could hopefully agree, the sheriff would agree to for this upcoming Labor Day weekend, a little better patrol to keep it down to 25. And in the future, ongoing future, we need to go in there with speed bumps from your suggestion Memorial Day weekend,
I'd go 2 weeks before it, that way.
2 weeks before, okay, and then 2
on
weeks
either
after.
side of that, or a week on either side of it, so that way you got
Yeah.
that traffic.
They don't want to be installing them on the weekend.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So people usually come up a week before that, or they start setting trailers.
how's that sound? Does that sound? So is this, Blaine, is this like an under advisement type situation where we wouldn't make a motion?
I think you could, from the standpoint of that you'll look into the speed bumps for Memorial Day, but, yeah, as far as, making specific, promises on
Right.
enforcement and, other things, I think, yeah, it'd probably be a general motion, I would suggest.
Okay, so. I will make a motion that we will look into, in the future, using speed bumps 2 weeks before Memorial Day and 2 weeks after Labor Day weekend, working both with the Forest Service and with the road department
And we will work with the sheriff to try to
and
get
with the sheriff,
more enforcement through Labor Day.
more enforcement
And include the signage.
and signage. Yeah, we'd have to do we'd work on that after the fact by asking for, do we want to ask for road study or do we want to wait
That's for what?
a road study to go
Speed
study?
study.
over?
Be good. So.
Well, we can wait on that.
Well, okay, that's in the future.
Because if they do it in winter.
Right now, what I think what we want to do is talk with the sheriff and ask him to patrol over Labor Day weekend. Just because of the emergency that you people are feeling that it's out of control.
Yes. Thank you.
So are there 25-mile-an-hour signs there now?
There's section
On the
15.
north side, the south side is 15, and the signs are up.
You have a 25-mile sign set right at the county line.
We don't.
That starts on the south side of the road there. I don't know about coming from.
Which means it's been a study, but that's again before all this. Population.
Okay, is there any other public discussion?
I think it's more than just the Labor Day weekend, if he could get up there during the week at all.
Yeah.
Because it's the road construction as well versus the campers. you know, all the construction activity. Because that's what you guys are dealing with. That big,
Second motion.
Yeah, I second that motion.
Okay.
Any other public comment? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Could you send me the contact you have at DOT to get the speed stuff done?
The commission has to request it. The
What?
commissioners have to request it.
Right, I just wonder who it goes to. Could you send me that? Because I'll believe my
Are you still on,
email
Blaine?
if you don't know right off the top of your head.
I guess we can,
Write down your email
okay,
Sure.
okay with that.
and I'll find it. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
Okay,
You presented this to me pretty well.
because I know some people that know some people. I'm thinking maybe we can get it done quicker.
Yeah. Very engineering. focused.
They'll subcontract it, yeah, but
Thanks, Blaine.
Good.
this is a.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks. Thanks.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Now we're gonna go to Southwest Regional Juvenile Detention MOU. And that's kind of a yearly thing, I think.
Make a motion that we, accept their memorandum of understanding between Gallatin County and Granite County.
I second it. Any public comments? Seeing done, all in favor, say aye.
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 Blanche, you'll sign that since you're the commissioner on that board.
Okey dokey.
So, we're adjourned.
Okay. Doing